Hello again, I'm Frederick Rampersaud, and we just want to welcome you to this panel discussion. Lots of people on the horizon, they're looking to immigrate is what they call it. But there's a constant flow of persons traversing from one country to another. Most important and pivotal to healthcare would be having your vaccination and making sure that you're definitely ready for immigration purposes. On that backdrop, we have a company in Guyana, Midway Specialty Care Center. They're at 125A Parade and Barrack Streets in Kingston, and we have two of their members. Very importantly, we'd like to talk to you, the public, as we interface. We'll bring to the table what's happening in terms of the services they offer the company. We're going to do, just a synopsis today, and we want to, first of all, identify who our panelists are. To my immediate right is Mrs. Patricia Persaud. She's a registered nurse and a clinic manager. I want to welcome you.
Thank you.
And also to her right, and to my extreme right, Dr. Dev Persaud, internal medicine specialist, and he's from the U.S. panel, physician in the U.S. panel. So we're talking, that's Guyana. So we're talking about a company that's there for you, the Guyanese people, and also persons who really need a medical fillip to qualify for overseas residency, right? I want to welcome you, panelists. It's a pleasure having you here today.
Thanks for having us.
Great. Let's as they say in football, let's get a game going, or let's kickstart. So in kickstarting, I'm going to address, maybe intermittently identify a person, but it's going to be a holistic approach. I'm going to be mooting questions that either of you can jump in and answer. Well, everyone out there would like to know the company. What is the company all about?
All right, so Midway Specialty Care, it's owned and founded by Guyanese Dr. Moti Rangapal. He is an infectious disease specialist located in Florida. There are 28 healthcare providers and physicians in Florida. We have 3 international clinics, one being in Turks, one in Trinidad, and of recently, 2019 launched in Guyana. So at the Guyana Midway, as I said, we started operations in 2019. In March of 2022, we were approved by the U.S. Embassy to conduct U.S. medicals for persons migrating to the U.S. The panel physician is Dr. Dev Persaud. He's here. We have a wide variety of services offered at Midway in addition to the immigration services. We have our pharmacy, we have our lab and x-ray facilities, as well as our specialized doctors. All right, Dr. Persaud can give us more information on that.
Sure. But is there any other question you would like to ask before we go on to?
Sure. What I'm looking at here, your specialty involves, as a physician, you will liaise with persons, I guess, who need to have the vaccination and so on. Could you tell us what the process involves like? I turn up there. What happens? How long? What do I do to first of all get the services? Secondly, how long do I have to wait to get my results and so forth? Could you give us a summary outline?
Sure, no problem. So, in order to immigrate to the U.S., a medical exam needs to be done, and it serves several purposes, one of which is screening for communicable diseases, but at the same time ensuring that persons are vaccinated based on the requirements of the U.S. CDC. And apart from that, whatever documents are generated within this medical would become useful. For example, in the case of children, when they go abroad, it will be required of the schools, for example, for them to be registered. So generally, when a person comes to get their medical done, they are required to bring a set of documents, which would be necessary because all of this is done in a very secure system online that requires information such as confirmation of identity, ensuring that the person indeed has an interview at the embassy with a specified date. Just as an example, we have a list of things which are there and are required, and we would usually communicate this to persons before they come to us, so as not to be an inconvenience that when you come you have things missing. But even in those cases, we try to facilitate persons too. So when a person comes to the institution, there's hardly any delay because we have staff that is in every specific area that needs to be covered in the medical. For example, in the pre-exam, where you would have ID verification, signing of the declaration, then subsequently we'll do a vision test, take the vitals, and then after that, persons will see me, where we'll take the medical history, do physical exam and examination, the vaccination records. After which, all requests will be made when it comes to what tests need to be done, what vaccination the person needs to have with respect to migration. And again, the way we do this is that we compare their vaccination records to what the requirements are. So it's a very straightforward process. And then they would subsequently do their tests as well. Usually results are available in less than a week. In some cases, for example, in children less than 2, it might be available the very same day. For older persons, let's say they're more than 45, their results will be ready sometimes the very next day. All of this is dependent on which tests a person needs to do primarily. So in younger age groups, such as in the 18 to 24 age range, there are a couple of tests, and those sometimes take a little while. But we always, and I emphasize that we always try to ensure that results are ready before the interview date, so that persons can feel comfortable knowing fully well that at least that aspect of their preparation for the interview is completed. If medical issues, other medical issues do arise within the medical, for example, a person might be found to have diabetes or be hypertensive and never knew about it, we also address those issues as well. So in that way, the medical is not just a screening medical, but you also get an additional consult for whatever issues revealed during the medical.
Great. You're watching NTN channel 18 cable 69. Frederick Rampersaud here with our panelists, and they're from Midway Specialty Care Center, 125A Parade and Barrack Street here in Kingston, Georgetown, Guyana. Today we're discussing about the requirements for the U.S. medical. This is very, very important for the viewers, whether on television or on YouTube, to let you know that Midway, they're offering a very pivotal and a very important service, because immunization and those factors for your kids when you migrate in as well, very important. The United States will need a history, and the history starts in Guyana, and this is very important for the Philip to assist school, persons going to school, college, and so forth, right?
That's correct, yes.
Could you share more or elaborate more on that aspect of it? The importance of why they need to go to Midway, and also it's so important because of the fact if you got kids, those who are going to go to college, because immigration or migration starts at any age, and you might want to have persons who will need to get into college or school, the smaller ones, and it's very, very important not only to qualify to go to the States, but if you're looking at chronological arrangement, history is important, immunization record is important. So you are a company with a difference. You're not only there to provide a service for those who want to head into the States, but you're also creating a platform for the kids' future. So it's very, very important, the history that goes with it. Could you let the viewers out there know the importance of these pivotal areas?
Surely. As it relates to vaccination records, whatever is done within the immigration medical, in terms of documenting what vaccinations a person would have received already and those that they would receive from us, that record that we create becomes the person's permanent record when they migrate. And of course, it's a necessity for the medical itself, but from a public health perspective, we would know that vaccination is also important for a reason, and that's primarily because the things against which a person is vaccinated are diseases at which they are at risk in certain populations. So for sure, it's recommended that a person's vaccines be up to date. And at Midway, we want to ensure that it's a one-stop shop. In that way, when you come to us, you come into a secure and safe environment. All of your tests and vaccinations and consultations are done in one location. And as I mentioned before, we try to ensure that results are available in a timely way so that you always get it before you go to the interview.
Great. As I said before, the backdrop of us having a corporatized record, which will definitely be used as a platform for admission into school, college, and so forth. I know the U.S. authorities, they don't really mess with records. It's very important that you have these records to gain certain benefits. Most importantly, you were in a very strategic location in Georgetown, and this brings you bordering around other hospitals and so forth, where you're the one with the difference, because everyone's going to want to rush down to receive your services because of the fact of where you are located. Tell the viewing populace more about your location, and if I'm at home and I definitely have to come in to do my medical, where do I go? And what's the number I can call? How can I make an appointment?
All right. So we're located at 125 Parade and Barrack Streets. That's just before Mercy Hospital if you're using the Lamaha entrance, and it's after Mercy Hospital if you're coming in from the Parade and Evelary entrance. We encourage persons to make appointment. You can get us on 223-2125, or you can even send us a WhatsApp message. We have persons who will promptly respond to your queries, to send you the list of the documents, basically get you prepared before you come to the clinic and notice you miss half of the documents. So we have that system in place where we work with you. The number to call, or the number you can WhatsApp us on, is 645-5695. Again, we are within close vicinity to the U.S. Embassy. Let's say somebody forget to take their pictures. We have a photo studio not far from us, right? We give directions to the photo studio. So persons, they welcome that. When they come to us and they have all their documents, or if there's an additional document they need and we can help them, they welcome that. And you can see the smile on their faces when they leave. They're so happy with the services. So we encourage persons to come down. Another point that I would like to mention is our discount packages for families.
Excellent.
Because it's not only a single person. Majority of the time it's a family, more than 2 persons. Sometimes it's more than 5-6 persons. So we have a discount package in place for that. So please feel free to check us out at 125 Parade and Barrack Street. Again, I'll repeat those numbers you can get us on. It's 223-2125 and 645-5695.
Well, our time is quickly evolving, and if you're just joining us, you're looking at a discussion here, and we're having Midway Specialty Care Services, or Center, at 125A Parade and Barrack Streets in Kingston, Georgetown, Guyana. Number 223-2125, that is 223-2125, or on WhatsApp 645-5695, that is 645-5695. As I said, our time is evolving, and we quickly want to give our panelists here, for those just joining, Mrs. Patricia Persaud to my immediate right, registered nurse, charming smile, and also to her extreme right, Dr. Dave Persaud, internal medicine specialist, and he's with the panel of physicians, the U.S. centered in terms of your medical facilities, getting your pass rate right, so that you can migrate. All right. With the charming smiles in the background and the kind of way they're comfortable, closing remarks. That's the only time remaining. But before you can incorporate this in the closing remarks, you're in a strategic area, Georgetown. Parking seems to be, I want you to mention parking and kind of accommodation there for persons in Berbice and Linden all over want to come down there, because this video is going to go on YouTube, it's going to go worldwide. So we would like for you to say about parking facilities and so forth, and your closing remarks. with a revolving time?
All right, so we have parking available, but sometimes, as we know, it's right in Georgetown, parking can be a bit hard to get. But as I said, there's parking available. We accommodate persons and their family to come.
If I can interject quickly, sorry, you're just next to the cricket ground, right? So people could park just around that area and then come across.
And come across, correct.
Yeah.
Yes, they can utilize the areas and they can come across. In addition to that, persons, we know they're coming as far as Essequibo, Berbice. At our facility, we offer refreshment when they come. They have water, they can get their coffee. Of course, it's free of charge. No need to pay for that. So it's a comfortable environment we're creating for persons. And I know there are lots of persons that are coming from, as I said, Berbice, Linden, Essequibo. At least once you get there, we want you to relax, take a cup of coffee, take a drink of water, and just go on with your medical in a comfortable, calming way as much as possible. So we do encourage persons to come down.
Dr. Prasad?
I would only like to emphasize that the difference with Midway is that we have a dedicated team to deal with U.S. immigration medicals. And in that way, when you're with us, you're always well taken care of, and we try as much as possible to make your experience a pleasant one. And apart from that, things are done obviously professionally, according to the standards outlined by the US CDC, which is the guiding body for this particular process. So at the end of the day, you know that you expect a good experience, and at the same time you expect service that is up to standard, because those are the ideals that we strive for.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line is that you're migrating, you got to do medical, and this is strategic. It's in Georgetown. They're offering services, having a corporate reputation. They're having continuity. And how long have you been in operation, by the way? I guess in excess of 4 or 5 years, or?
Specifically regarding the U.S. medical, the embassy would have widened the range of panel physicians, and we would have started in March last year.
Last year, oh great.
It might not seem long.
I know, but there is continuity, and
but in that period of time, we've seen thousands of people.
All right, so in summing it up, in closing, we just want to say big thanks to Mrs. Patricia Prasad and Dr. Dev Prasad, the Prasads. We're not related, except as colleagues.
Colleagues, correct.
Well, we want to say thanks to the Prasads and thanks to Midway Specialty Care Center in affording us the opportunity this today. They're from 125A Parade and Bar Streets in Kingston, Georgetown, Guyana. Just to put the number again, 223-2125, that is 223-2125-645-5695 on WhatsApp. We want to say thanks for having them in studio, accompanying us, ensuring, articulating, pontifying the importance of getting your medical in a central location, continuity, stability, and everything that goes with you being comfortable and receiving your results in a very short time. I think the stipulated time is about 2 weeks or a week, I'm not certain.
It's less than a week.
Less than a week, so you see, I'm trying to leapfrog and add more. But thanks so much for joining. This is where I part company with you. Thanks for watching on NTN channel 18, cable 69, and also on YouTube. Frederick, on behalf of my panelists, saying goodbye and thank you so much for watching.